Thank you. Mr. Newberry.
Hi. I'm George Newberry. This is my first time in the foray of politics. I'm a realtor here in the South Bay. I've owned my own businesses before, and I am a retired lieutenant colonel, having spent 29 years in the United States military. I'm actually the only one who has federal budget experience. I have 25 years experience in the federal budget system. The reason I'm running is I'm really sick and tired of watching us mortgage our kids and our grandkids' futures. And the lack of leadership is just absolutely astounding in Washington. I want to bring that leadership back to Washington, work from the middle with both sides. Right now we're watching politicians sitting on opposite ends of a spectrum, sniping at each other, calling each other names, and we're building up a deficit that we just can't stand. The Congressional Budget Office estimated that the first 6 months of this year we were going to have a deficit of $448 billion. That's a $113 billion increase over what happened in the same period last year. We can't continue at that pace. As I said, I want to bring leadership. I have plans to take to Washington to help balance the budget. We need to eliminate redundancy. We need to encourage job growth by reducing capital gains tax on small businesses, making it easier to get a small business loan, also doubling the tax credits for R&D. Taxes, I agree with what's been said here. We're going the wrong way. The president wants to increase taxes. If you look at California, the top 1% of the wage earners pay 50% of the tax in California. That is the most volatile income group in the world. If you continue to try and heap on top of them, we're going to collapse. We need to lower taxes and close corporate loopholes so that everybody pays their fair share. Medical care, we need to take a look at being creative with medical care. It's important we provide medical care for every citizen in this country, but we've got to find a decent way to do it and not heap it on the back of Washington. Right now, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security amount to 44% of our budget. That is not something we can ignore. Those are just some of the issues, and I'm hoping we discuss more of that. Those are some of the reasons I'm running. I hope I can get your support. Again, I'm new to politics, but not new to the federal budget system. I've also the only candidate from the either major party who's agreed to not take a congressional pension. I refuse to take a congressional pension. I've also agreed to sign up and support term limits, which is what the Founding Fathers believed in when they created this country, that this is a temporary thing, a service to the country, and not a job.
Thank you.
George, you're a retired Air
Force Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, the polls for this special election show that there's going to be a dismal voter turnout tomorrow. While I think we all hope that that does not end up being the case, you've obviously put your time into getting your message out and being a part of this race. Why do you think this special election is an important one, and why should people take the time to vote tomorrow?
Well, you're right. Most special elections have very low turnouts. The last special election we had in this area was for the Senate, and I'm not sure exactly where the lines are in San Pedro, but where my offices are in Venice and my home in Hermosa Beach, that's in the same as the last Senate district. We had a 13% turnout. Probably the reason that people should vote in this one is because in any special election, each vote is going to carry a little bit more weight. And because of the wide field, probably 10 or 12,000 votes could put somebody into the second round on this. And so this is a very important election, both in terms of power given to the voters with respect to this congressional race, and for the fact that we have some really tough issues, and there are some solutions to these problems.
Fair enough. Mr. Flaherty?
Well, I think this election is important because, first of all, it's an extremely important district for the country. People may make fun of California because of the troubles California has when it's doing badly, or Florida, but California traditionally leads the nation. It's a state that produces about 85% of the vegetables and fruit, and other people laugh about it and say it's the state of fruits, the fruits, and the vegetables. But in reality, if California were its own nation, it'd be about among the top 10 countries in the world because of the economy, the size of the economy. So it's a really important district. We've got our defense contractors here, we've got oil refineries here, and as the way this state goes, as the way this district goes, is the way the country goes, is the way the world goes. If people don't vote now and do something about it right now, things are going to get worse. People say, well, we're in a recovery, everything's fine. I haven't seen this unless they fix the fundamental issues that are wrong with the legislature, with the way people are voting once they get in office, that we're beholden to the big money guns. Then things aren't going to change. So now's the chance, where as Steve said, where your vote counts more in a special election. Don't let these things get pushed by on you. Don't feel that there's nothing you can do, that it's hopeless, because it's not hopeless. We can unwind this thing. We can turn it around, and we can return to the kind of America we grew up in.
Mr. Newberry.
Thank you. I think part of the voter apathy is because they see what's going on in Washington and they don't think that their vote matters. It does matter. Please get out and vote. I don't care which candidate you're going to support somebody, get out and vote. This is a critical district here. We have the port here in Los Angeles that imports the majority of goods from the east. We have safety issues regarding that port. Not just terrorist issues, but redundancy on food safety. You have the FDA who inspects for processed foods with their own guidelines. You have the USDA, which inspects for raw foods with their own guidelines. We need one organization to do that. You have the United States Air Force Base that does satellite communication work here in LA. GPS exists in your car because of that Air Force Base. We have thousands of jobs at stake for that Air Force Base. It's critical that we keep that base here. The way California's tax structure is set, we are losing businesses. They are just fleeing the state of California, and we've got to stop it. Nissan left in 2005, took 13,000 jobs and went to Tennessee. Hilton left in 2009, took their jobs and sent them to Washington. We need to look at helping California maybe institute something like a flat tax. We need to incentivize businesses to come to California. If that sounds like local issues, it's not, because we're doing the same thing in the nation. And companies are fleeing overseas to avoid the tax structure we have. We need to change our tax structure, or we're going to lose businesses throughout the nation.
Well, you bring up a good point about the tax structure, and we'll come back to that in a few minutes, let everybody address it.